Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome to Howson and Mckola Uncensored, in lockdown, in quarantine. What's going on, Steve?
Not a lot.
This is weird, isn't it? Normally got you here next to me in my arm. Just like, now there's no Steve in my arm. What's happening?
Not much. I went out the house yesterday. I'd been on proper lockdown since Saturday.
Yeah.
Went into the studio and got all our equipment so we can still stream from home and stuff. And then we've been on lockdown since then. Monday I went to the post office to post out some paddock merch.
You were in a queue outside Tesco the other day, weren't you?
Yeah, yesterday. So yesterday I nipped out for... nipped to the studio to go and see if I had any mail. Go and get a charge cable. So just drop my iPad off with my granddad so we can FaceTime us. FaceTimed him the other day, right? And FaceTiming him. And he's holding a mirror behind his phone so he can see him because he can't turn the thing round. And I'm like, fucking hell you doing, man? So I said, right, I'm coming round.
That is amazing, That is class.
I'm coming round. I said, I don't use my iPad at the moment now. No, I'm not reading comments off it. Like, I'm literally sat a foot away from all my stuff at the minute. So, like, I don't need the iPad. I'll get it off you when we get...
I bought a tablet and I never used it. That was a waste of money.
Well, I do use it. I use it quite often. I watch videos on there. I read on there. I went to go for a dump last night. I was like, oh, fucking iPads, my granddad's in it.
This is where we've got to. What I do with my tablet, literally just is. Oh man, have you? I found out that I had 6 months free Disney Plus on my O2. I've taken that up. I've got WWE Network. I'm watching all the old wrestling. Like, have you decided to do something that you haven't had the chance to do, or otherwise wouldn't have done?
Have you heard of Masterclass?
No. It's
got mad shit on there, like, top poker players teach poker. You got, I think, Steph Curry teaches how to do a 3-pointer. You've got Serena Williams teaches how to do tennis. You got Samuel L. Jackson.
Do you have to
teaches
pay
acting
for them to? Yeah. Okay, that sounds cool.
You've got like Judd Apatow teaches comedy. You've got like unbelievable. Like you got like Neil deGrasse Tyson teaches critical thinking and science. I think you got Chris Hadfield talks about space.
The McCanns teach how to babysit.
Oh, that wasn't on there, I don't think. But you got like Martin Scorsese teaches directing. You're like, what? Come on, man.
How much do you have to pay for that one?
About 170 quid a year. So what's that, like 10 or a month-ish?
Oh, you pay for you subscribe to the whole channel and you get access to all of that.
Get whichever one you want.
I thought it was like, them celeb VMs where you pay for a celebrity to send you a video. Have you seen it? I thought it was similar to that.
No, it's really well produced. It's like a curriculum. It's like 20 videos per course. There's like extra materials and stuff like that. Mate, honestly, it's really good. Like, I wish I could say I'm an affiliate for it or something and get a bit of dough, use my coupon code, but I'm not. And I just think it's really good. So I bought it ages ago. Been well too busy to even look at it, but I've started looking at some of the stuff. Obviously, like independent filmmaking, stuff like that, because that's essentially what we do in it. So you might as well get good at it. You and I have never had any sort of formal training in making videos. We're just gobby dickheads with a camera. So
or presenting.
Yeah, so I might as well get better at it.
I mean, there's not much room for getting better with us two. It's like, we are pretty good. But I hear you. I hear you. Because, like, there's no point coming out of this lockdown worse than you were before, right? Unless you've got no choice. Then. But, yeah. What you made of all the lack of football? Are you turkeying yet?
No, you might be able to still see a little bit of it, like, try to kill my mustache this morning.
I can see the angle I've got on Skype here is better than the angle that these guys have got at home, and it is pretty good stuff. I was worried about that because it's coming just over my lips, and if it starts, your lips keep tripping on it.
Mine's got like eating cereal in the morning. It's just a milk mop. So actually, there might be some practical uses to curling it out of the way. Maybe that's why they did it in the old cowboy days or whoever it was.
Do you oil your beard or balm your beard or anything? You should, I got shampoo now for my beard. Serious. Shampoo for my beard, oil, balm and butter.
Balm and butter. It's not a chip butty.
I am. Yeah, we're cracking up, aren't we? Because this is what we're talking about right now. Jude Bellingham, apparently a prime target. James Cooper at Sky Sports was saying. What do you make of that?
Maybe we need more coronaviruses around the world so we can actually have enough time to get our fucking business done. Because, like, what must our recruitment team be doing now? I imagine they've broke their records for how many times they can spin around on their chair. So all that's left to do is try and sign some players. And providing that nobody on the other end, in terms of agents, player, and club officials, have got the Rona, then surely, if there's negotiations to be had, have them. What's everybody doing? I spoke to one of our players yesterday because I was mithering him, trying to get him to come and do a Skype call with us. And he said United have just said you're not allowed to do partner work. So, like, if this guy's sponsored by, let's say, Nike or Adidas or something like that, he can't even do that. So they've locked it down in terms of what work they're allowed to do. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get them on a Skype call. But he was saying, like, they're fucking going out of their mind, bored. So I imagine a player that was looking to move would probably, one, be really interested in doing that because it'd alleviate the boredom, wouldn't it? Mm. Yeah, let's talk about that because it's something new. I also chatting to that guy as well about how certain clubs push certain players, and maybe if he was to move and he moved to a club that didn't have the same kit manufacturer as what he wears as boots, the positive and negative impacts of having that sort of stuff, because you do get pushed harder if you join a club or you play for a club that has the same sort of kit manufacturer as what you're sponsored by in terms of boots. It was an interesting conversation, an interesting sort of peek behind that, because this guy got in trouble for posting something that wasn't on brand.
Yeah, that happens. Isn't it?
Like, let's say, who's Memphis's boot sponsor? Do you know?
Under Armour.
Right. So him
Remember,
posting
me
that.
and Jay were in an advert.
Oh yeah. So let's say he posted a retro shirt. Well, someone that was with one of the bigger companies, maybe say a Nike or Adidas, if they posted themselves wearing a shirt which wasn't that sponsor, let's say someone picked an Umbro one, from 96 or something like that, then they'd get in trouble, potentially get in trouble, because they're not allowed to do partner work. And if the partner sees them promoting anyone else, even if it's Retro United, potentially you can get in trouble for that. So, interesting, murky world of sponsorships and brand deals for players.
It puts.
They're paid extremely well for it, though. To be fair,
I mean, if you're paid to do that, then you should just do it, innit? It'd be like I suppose it'd be like Real Ferdinand just popping up on Sky Sports on via Skype because he's bored at home. Ultimately, he can't do that, right? Because he's got a contract with BT. So it does make sense. But nevertheless, talking about centre-halves that played for United, Chris Smalling has been linked to Arsenal. How funny is that?
Joe, when they signed David Luiz, we're like, that's not going to fix your problems.
Why is this rewriting of history with Chris Smalling at the moment? I don't
because he's playing well. He's been utilised by a team that plays a certain style. Look, there was never an issue with Chris Smalling's one-on-one defending. It was the fact that he looked like he was going to dislocate his hip if you asked him to pass it more than 6 yards. That was the issue with him. United are trying to play out the back. Now, let me rewind you to a game.
Hang on, do you remember when he dived against Newcastle and then they scored from the free kick? Yeah, sorry, carry.
Let me rewind you to the City game in the League Cup when we were 3-0 down at half-time. Why was we 3-0 down at half-time? One of the reasons was we was getting pressed to death, weren't we, by City? Do you remember?
They had four false nines or something like that. And just
two false nines. They basically pressed us in an old-school 4-4-2 sort of shape.
And we kept playing out from the back with Jones.
I can't remember who his partner was.
Jones and Lindelof or Jones and Maguire?
I think it was Lindelof, but I could be wrong. I think it was Lindelof because I think they was pressing on Lindelof because he can actually play out from the back. They'd sort of leave Phil Jones until they needed to press him, and then he'd absolutely shit his pants and he'd pass it to De Gea, and then De Gea would give City the ball. Right? Do you remember that?
Yep.
That happened for 45 minutes and I was pulling my fucking hair out with it. Now, insert Chris Smalling into that. United are trying to play a certain way. People keep saying, oh, what's even our identity? Watch us. You'll see. We do have an identity. We are building systems of play. They're just not refined yet. They're just not perfect yet. Or they're not as obviously identifiable as, say, City and Liverpool's style of play at the moment. But we do have a certain way of playing football. Chris Smalling doesn't fit that style of football. He's had a great season at Roma. Well done to him. Fair play to him. But he shouldn't come back to United. And when they signed David Luiz, and everyone went, what are you doing? Chris Smalling, even though I think he's a fine defender, there's no issue with him as a pure defender. But Arsenal are a team which strike me, especially with Arteta as coach, as a team that wants to play tiki-taka football. Yeah, that's what Pep's Cone Man's all about, right? So why the fuck would you get Chris Smalling if he ain't good enough for United, who aren't tiki-taka, who just want to knock it around a little bit, but we're fairly direct with it? How is he going to be good enough? Because if you look at City, you look at Liverpool, those centre halves are putting in 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, sometimes 100. I've seen Van Dijk with 100 passes in a game at times for Liverpool. Fucking Chris Smalling's not doing that. That's going to make you pull your hair out. Chris Smalling and David Luiz, the centre-half partnership, is better than the two Ronnies. Well funnier.
Mustafi sometimes as well. It'd be fucking jokes. I say we lower the asking price just to entice Arsenal.
No, like, hang on. Wait. Yeah. Hello? Arsenal? Chris Smalling, you say? Free. Fucking yeah, mate. He's yours. Enjoy. Bye-bye.
Do you know how the price would normally go up when it's an English club? We'd be like, oh shit, they want him.
Hang on, who is it? Arsenal. Like, it's Arsenal. Yeah, you can have him. Yeah, you can have him.
that would, and I think a lot of people that look, fair play to him, and I think Chris Smalling would be daft to come back to England because I think he's found a place that suits him more. The style of play, maybe the style of living, maybe everything about playing for Roma is better for him. The problem for him is they might not be able to afford him, right? Because 25 million United want apparently for him. Would that be doubling our money? Did we pay like 12.5 for him?
Yeah, something like that.
Doubling our money at Chris Smalling? Fucking hell. Oh, God. That'd be good. But if I was him, I'd stay in Italy. But if I was United, I'd sell him to Arsenal and get that done ASAP.
Looks like he's enjoying it in Italy, so I'd say, yeah, crack on.
And it's great for vegan food as well. So, yeah. The other week on Uncensored, you broke the news that Jadon Sancho was done. Hang
on, why am I nodding?
That's why I started laughing, because I don't know, you was like, yeah, that's right, yes, I broke that news. Yeah, so he broke that news. Give us the here we go and all that. Now, but on a serious note, this week we've heard more and more rumours. Again,
sorry, you just reminded me. I got sent Romano's number the other day and I didn't do anything with it.
Oh,
Let me just drop him a text.
Just say, here we go.
That's a here we go, innit? Right, I've just got his thingy open up now.
You know you do this a lot, right? You name drop. You know that, right? Do you tell people that I've texted you when you're with other people? And you're like, oh, Adam Mckola just texted me.
No, because you never text.
Oh, that's true. I do sometimes.
On a serious note, though, Romano's a belting podcast, is it not? Maybe the people want to be excited for those things.
He did promise us something and never did it. One transfer window.
Oh, Romano did?
Yeah, but it was during a transfer window. Now it's lockdown. It's a different story, isn't it? Which is the way to get everybody. I was on FullTimeDEVILS Instagram the other day, DMing Delos like Diogo. Instagram Live. And I think we may be able to get that. I think we're trying to get one with Rio as well. So there's ways that you can try and nab people now. They've got no excuse to fob you off because they're stuck behind their closed doors, which is great stuff. So what have we spoken about? Jadon Sancho. United apparently desperate to make him happen. Confident it's going to happen. And Fabrizio, the man you just spoke of, said that we've been speaking with his agents for 2 months. And it's nothing new. These negotiations have been going on for a while. Is he set for United? It's just a matter of time. Or is he set for the Premier League and it's just a matter of which club?
I think we got a bit of an inside scoop because there are people associated with Paddock, should we say, who are friendly with him from when he lived in Manchester. So it's quite straightforward.
Joe, isn't it? He's Joe in it. He's friendly with everybody.
It's not Joe.
I reckon Jaden's got a Jesus tattoo somewhere. Basically, he's in a WhatsApp group with a guy. Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me this. Yeah, go on.
Anyway, so by the sounds of it, he's acting like it's on. I'm not really sure of the phrase I would say here, but like, he's acting like it's happening.
Yeah.
He ain't denying that it's happening. There's also some talk that some of the guys that have been out to Germany, because like he flies a load of the lads over to go and watch him and stuff like that. So as you would, wouldn't you? You'd fly your mates over to come watch it. The lads that have been over there with him are saying like, sounds like it's on. Like I said to everybody last summer, like and that's obviously where that came from, is everyone that was like, would he come with the Champions League? And I was going, yeah. And they're like, he wouldn't. And I'm like, he wanted to. The issue with him coming last summer was United didn't want to pay the fee. Now, I can guess at the justification for why United didn't want to pay the fee. 18 months of high performance could be an anomaly, could be a fluke. 2.5 years of that high performance, the leading the stats for the under-23 players in Europe or whatever it is.
He's already bettered his stats in the Bundesliga this season.
It's not a fluke.
Than he did last season, like with 15 less games or something stupid.
So now it's easier to justify £100 million, whatever that is, after 2.5 years of excellence as it is over a year and a half of excellence. So I know he loves Manchester. I think Chelsea would have been a serious contender, but the amount of wide players that they've got, I think that leaves United a free run at it, not just because maybe
they've just
he
signed
couldn't be up for it.
Hakim Ziyech as well, haven't they?
Yeah. And you've got Hudson-Odoi, they've got Pulisic. So, there's options. Manchester United could offer him a number 7. I don't know if he would take that or if he's been offered that, but they could offer him a number 7. I know someone else in the squad's got their eye on the number 7, which is weird. But no, maybe, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. But there's like they could offer him the number 7. They can say to him, "Look at the team. Do you think anyone else starts at right wing in front of you?" Did he fuck? And then ultimately, you've also got the sell of potentially long term. You've got Sancho, Greenwood, Rashford as your forward 3 for United and England, which is a hella lineup.
Excuse me, Martial is in there.
Doesn't play for England, mate.
Yeah, but he's definitely not starting 3. It does seem like a no-brainer, doesn't it, with Sancho? 7 playing for United, coming back, proving City wrong, trying to do all those things, playing with Jesse Lingard and all that. The other day, it was his birthday, and Harry Pinero, who's done a Full-Time Devils video on a Fancam for us, is a funny fucker. And he knows Jadon Sancho, or he's had a picture with Jadon Sancho before. He posted it. He's a United fan, Harry Pinero is, and he posted, "Happy birthday, Jadon. United we stand," with a wink emoji. And Jadon's shared it on his Instagram story. So it's like, I know that doesn't mean anything, but it's like even just little subtle hints like that, he's not hiding them anymore. And I think it does seem pretty obvious he's leaving Dortmund. Pretty obvious he's going back to the Premier League. I think it's just whether United cough up the money, and if we do, we'll get him. So I am quite confident at that one. I'm just not counting chickens. You don't know what happens with this summer as well because of the situation we're in. Do seasons continue? Do they not? Like
we did on the debate when I said, like, if you don't end it by the 30th of June, the knock-on effects aren't just the competitions. You've got European-wide competitions that are all in sync. They all roughly start at the same time. They all roughly finish at the same time. We all have pre-season at the same time. We all have the transfer window make sense that it's after the season and the first couple of weeks of the next season. Like, if England carries on through to November, well, how can you justify a transfer window in December? Or do you only have the winter one? Like, it's madness to suggest about all that sort of shit. That's why you've got to do that, because otherwise you throw all sorts of things into chaos. And let's be honest, for me, the media-driven agenda of getting the league finished is sort of Scousers with the league. Not for what is for the good of the game in the long term.
I think if there was a 6-point difference, it'd be off. It'd be cancelled, null and void. I do think that. But hey, everyone can go watch that debate if they want to see that. Something not on Jadon Sancho. Have you seen Tiger King?
Oh, I started watching it, but I was working at the same time, so I only sort of half watched it.
That Carol is a dodgy fucker, isn't she? Something going on there. Yeah, I don't know why that's popped into my head. Maybe because I was watching it last night. But maybe because there's no football to talk about. Struggling here, Steve. What we got to talk about? Any other transfer? Like Smalling, Sancho, Bellingham possibly could happen. Is Bellingham one that's going to come in and get loaned back out? Would he be a part of the first team squad next season, do you think? Or like your personal opinion, well, not whether you know anything about it, but fucking plays everywhere, doesn't he?
He has played pretty much everywhere.
CM, left mid, right mid, attacking mid, defensive mid, striker.
They do that with young players a lot, though, don't they? Sort of giving them a bit of a taste of, like, it's less responsibilities when you played a bit wider than it is playing in the middle. Mate, the fact that the guy's a tank anyway. Like, he's going to be a unit and a half at 23, 24, like a full-on unit. But the fact that he can handle the power and pace of the Championship, which is one of the most physical leagues in Europe, without a shadow of a doubt, this is a fucking animal of a kid. I don't know. I can see the attraction of wanting to go somewhere like Dortmund. Sounds like his old man's a bit bout it. So, maybe he's looking for one of those Raiola level paydays. Don't know.
You see his fat smile when he left Carrington?
No.
Is a bit funny. Jude was in the car, ducking down, and his dad and mum were in the front. But I mean, like I've said before, so many of these younger players will come to Carrington, come to Old Trafford, meet people. It does look like we're trying to pull out the stops with him and trying to get him in. And it kind of reminds me of the Wayne Rooney situation where we didn't really want to go in for Wayne Rooney at that time. We wanted to give him a bit more time at Everton. And Newcastle forced our hand. Newcastle came in, wanted him. And then we were like, fucking hell, we got to get him now. And it kind of feels the same with Jude, that maybe we wouldn't mind leaving him there. But he's going to want to leave because he's probably on fuck all wages at Blues at the moment, and he can immediately, get 10, 20, 30 grand a week. And
they're talking 100, aren't they? I heard someone mention 100. Yeah, because everyone was like, "That's mental, innit?" Right now, I'm not saying Jude Bellingham's better than Messi, right? Which is what you're definitely going to clip up out of this. But if you had the opportunity to sign Messi at 16, but you wanted 100 grand, you'd been like, fuck it, wouldn't you?
And I think it's like with Marcus Rashford.
But there's obviously a risk that you get to that level.
With Marcus Rashford's last contract, which was like 5 years, I don't know what the actual numbers are around it, but everyone was like, oh, why is it 300 grand a week and all that after apparent bonuses and stuff?
It isn't what was reported. I do know that. I don't know the exact figure, but I know it's not.
What you've got to see is that's a 5-year deal. So in 2 years' time, everybody else's wages around him is going to be going up. So he's kind of got to try and get the right deal that will mean he's on the right kind of wage in a few years. Like, you've got to kind of monitor the market and stuff. And I do get it. But Jude Bellingham, 100 grand a week. But then if he signs a 5-year deal, and he's at 20 years old in a few years earning 100 grand a week, and he's one of the best players in the Prem, like, you're going to think, it's that if it goes wrong.
Imagine he was a 16-year-old Roy Keane, because that's what this fucker could end up being. I mean, like, the playing Championship at 16 is unheard of. To the beast mode level that he's been doing it as well. Imagine you had a 16-year-old Roy Keane. Now, I don't think this kid is on that level, but, like,
no one's on that level.
Just imagine you had the opportunity to do that, and you're like, and then you let him go somewhere else. Sometimes you got to take a risk to pull him in. Sometimes it ain't gonna work.
Gotta take a risk to pull him in. I like that. Jude Bellingham's one. Okay, how about this one? Thomas Partey. He's been spoken about a lot, hasn't he? Is there anything in this one? I want him.
No, I think there's a few players out there that you see linked only by fans. I think Thomas Partey's one. I think Ziyech was probably one. Pretty much all of that Ajax team actually was probably one. You see them linked with no reason for them to be linked. It's just someone that everyone wants.
Newspapers are clever with that, aren't they? Monitoring trends on social media and just making an article that they know everyone will go, oh, finally, and then click on.
You know the game, don't you? Like, hopefully everyone's getting wise to it, because I mention it every time that this happens. Whenever United get drawn to a team no one's ever fucking heard of in Europe, someone will link us to that player, because then they've got SEO with Man United, that player, and that team in there, which means when they put their match preview and review articles out, it gets them higher SEO. It's sneaky as fuck.
Well, it's like YouTube, right? Putting meta in. Like, we might put in a review tags, we might put goals and highlights. And we know there's no goals and highlights, but we know people are looking for those things, so we want to kind of come up in their searches. Still on a thumbnail, it would say Fancam or review, but we've kind of got into their search results.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't, like... What was the word I'm thinking of? We wouldn't do a video unless someone else has reported it, and even then we might just say it's bullshit. We wouldn't just do a video saying United have been linked to the fullback from Lask, just so we could rank higher when it comes to the
we wouldn't do that.
Fan cams. No.
Isn't it weird that we almost set a higher standard for ourselves than people do at bigger institutions like...
There's no almost about it, mate.
Like the newspapers and some of these TV channels and some of the stuff that you hear them saying, like, it's fucking ridiculous. Like, we kind of keep ourselves in, like, oh, we can't say that. Like, I mean, like, we've got more integrity than a lot of these guys, yet we could probably get away with a little bit more.
Yeah, we should be able to get away with more because we're fans. We're fans.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, these people who are proper journalists.
But then us fans that are judged by journalists, like, they'll kind of look down a little bit on, aren't we? Oh, look at them cunts. Why are they in the press office, or why are they in here?
You write for the fucking Sun, or you write for one of the worst clickbait rags that used to be a fucking amazing local national newspaper with some of the most respected writers, like especially the MEN. The MEN's an absolute joke. Some of the writers in the MEN are fucking pathetic. Some of the things they'll write stories about is pathetic. But they're treated like they're actually something. Back in the days of David Meek, that was a respected outlet. And there's so many outlets that have gone that way now. I wish that our press office had a bit of balls about them and was like, no.
I don't get it. Why not teams? Why isn't up to, like, and just be like, nah, fuck you, like, the Sun. You're not coming in.
Yeah. Custis is, like, if you follow Custis, I can't because he blocked me for calling him out because he blocked everybody,
trust me.
He didn't know the meaning of the word exclusive. Obviously, I have a kind of loose connection with Evra. And that's happened for years. That was happening when he was at the club. So when he was going to Juventus, back on my old blog, we put it out, world exclusive, Evra's going to Juventus. Do you know why? Because Evra told us he was going to Juventus. So we banged it out there. And then 2 weeks later, Neil Custis does Sun exclusive, Paddy Evra's going to Juventus. So I just tweeted him and said, you probably want to Google the definition of exclusive, mate, because that's not exclusive. And he was like, what, am I supposed to check every blog? So then I did join him. Used to be that website. Let me Google that for you.
Yeah.
So I just put Evra, Juventus, transfer, and MUFC latest was at the top of that list for Finger. And I was like, there you go. Literally, the first result on Google. Like, if you was writing an article, you'd maybe go, let me just check no one else has written this, wouldn't you? As the first basic thing. Yet this guy gets a press pass to go to every single fucking game.
And that's the thing that annoys me. These will put out all sorts of nonsense and still be given free reign of media boxes and press boxes and all that stuff.
And the privilege of talking to players every game.
And whereas if we were to make a video, absolutely going nuts. In fact, I know I've lost places and spots and positions on lists and entry to certain places because of certain things that I've said on this channel. Like, so it's mate, pissing me off. They just don't give a fuck about fans, really, do they? Ultimately. We don't deserve a voice, and that's the thing. People like Samuel Fuckface and Neil Fatman think they can speak for us because they've been going to games for free for all of their life.
We're getting paid to go to games and they go for free.
Never bought a ticket in
journalism's struggling. The thing is, you have got some good places doing some good journalism.
No, there is.
And people take the piss out of the Athletic a little bit, but it's actual journalism. They go out and they talk to people, they interview people, and they create good stories. And they've got some excellent people working in there. Ollie Kay, Ornstein, Laurie Whitwell, I like. He's doing bits covering United, but he covers it properly. Whereas you've got some of these tabloid ones, and you're just like, who the fucking hell put 20p in you, man?
But it's like YouTube channels, isn't it? Like, we all get thrown into, like, we're talking about newspapers there and saying, oh, that's Sun and that. But we're all putting them all into the same pile.
Well, no, I'm literally saying, places like the Athletic.
That's what I did, and like, that's what happens with us. Like, we all get put into the same pile. And like, how many times do people go past us and say, you're like Arsenal fans? And it's like, well, we're not. We're not. And although some may be, but we're not. And it's like, you kind of all get thrown into the same pile. And I hate that as well, because obviously you act differently in it. And I think us, me, you, producer Chris, Alan, Jay, Johnny over the years, we've always maintained that we have a little bit of integrity and decency about us. And yeah, I just find it annoying sometimes.
Yeah, it's a meh. It's shit getting lumped in all in with everybody, because I take people and things on face value. If my experience of something is this is a load of bollocks, well, that's my experience of it. I don't generally let other people tell me what to think about stuff. I have my own brain, but you see too many times people have said stuff. I've read loads of stuff about myself which is just fucking untrue. And people have like, yeah, that happened, I was there, and you're like, well, it didn't, and you wasn't. So
I said that. Sometimes. Like, someone put, he took a ticket off me, and he didn't pay me. And I remember thinking, bro, I genuinely don't know who you are. I don't know who you are. I've never taken tickets off anyone and not paid them. And yeah, it's just like, oh my God, people just, I don't know, it's weird. But things stick on the internet as well, which is a bit... Well, they do and they don't they? Because you'd think if things stuck on the internet, Piers Morgan wouldn't be making a living.
I've got a lifetime fatwa out on Piers Morgan.
A what?
Fatwa.
What's that again?
Yeah, you would.
Fatwa. You got a fatwa?
Yeah. It's a declaration of war.
Yes. Can you put my name on that?
Fuck Piers Morgan. Now, I put this on. I did an Instagram story the other day. It was the anniversary of the UK's invasion of Iraq. Now, whether you support that war or don't, and there's plenty of reasons to not. At the end of the day, I lost mates over there. I served over there, and there was friends of mine that didn't come back. They came back in a coffin with a flag round it. Nothing patriotic about that in the slightest. It's just what happens. And I put, Piers Morgan made that job more difficult. And there was a few people inbox me on Instagram like, what do you mean? So, obviously there's all the Leveson inquiry stuff where he's been hacking the answering phones of dead people, which is fucking unbelievable.
Not just dead people as well, like
all sorts of different celebrities,
victims, parents, and just
all sorts of shit. And I can't remember if he was found guilty of that, but there was a court case and stuff happened with that. But Piers Morgan was sacked as the editor of the Daily Mirror back in, can't remember what year it was. But the reason he was sacked was because Piers Morgan put on the front page torture horror of British troops. And it was the most obviously staged photo shoot of a guy wearing an army uniform pissing on someone.
I know this. I've seen it.
Handcuffed up. But the guy had an Iraqi football shirt on. Like, as if to go, he's Iraqi because he's wearing an Iraqi shirt. Look. Like, it was so blatantly, obviously not happening. But yeah, it was lies, basically. Now, I don't know if he definitely knew that it wasn't true. But you spend 3 seconds looking at the photographs and you can realise it's not true. Like, the weapons aren't right, the clothing ain't right. It's just, as someone who's been out there and served it and seen the things out there, it ain't right. All of the things don't quite add up. But he put it, I think, on the first 6 pages of the newspaper.
It was on the front page. It was definitely on the front page.
It was front page and like a handful of pages in afterwards. And it was like literally saying, this is happening. British troops are torturing Iraqi civilians, and here's photographs. Now, I have no doubts some stuff like that went on. Didn't see any myself. And if I did, I'd like to think I had the courage to step in and stop that, because we have to abide by the rules. You have to abide by the rules all the time. But to blatantly lie like that, do you know what happened after that? There was a fucking riot in Iraq after that. And rightly so. If they thought that the prisoners and stuff were being mistreated like that. He literally made the lads in Iraq's job harder. He, with the decision he made as the editor to write that and put that on the front page of the paper, made lives more difficult and possibly even caused the death of some British soldiers, because you don't know what knock-on effects. You don't know who decided that's enough after they've seen that and just decided to go and attack.
Someone got from
You don't know what the knock-on effects of that.
For someone doing something.
You don't know. So fuck Piers Morgan forever. And if I ever see him, I might be going down to jail, because I'm going to do something which I shouldn't be doing.
I'm coming with you.
But I don't think I can directly threaten him here. But I would just say, I would like to have a word with you, Piers.
Tears for Piers. And I hate that people, like, we're talking about him now, but we're kind of like telling people about him, really. I hate kind of like people, oh yeah, I don't agree with Piers Morgan, but he's right here. And it's like, oh, fuck off. Like, this is what these kind of people do. They'll say something once in a while that everyone will agree with to make you think, oh, he's just a straight talker. But really, he's an absolute cretin. He's a cretin, and he's a knob, and he just wants attention. Like, we want attention sometimes. Everyone wants attention. But he wants attention by any means necessary, even if it means just lying. Like, even like, how can you hack? Like, oh my God. That's what I got blocked for. Like, every tweet that he tweeted, like, yeah, but you hack phones though, innit?
I tweeted him every day until he blocked me, just saying, good morning, everybody. Piers Morgan is a cunt.
Yeah, I've seen that.
It lasted about maybe a week before he blocked me.
Yeah. So just, guys, just ignore Piers Morgan, please. Ignore him. And then hopefully he'll starve of attention and crawl away somewhere and never be seen again.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
But I know any of my brothers from the forces, if we ever see him together.
Someone's going missing. Allegedly.
I wouldn't do that. I'd like to state for the record that I would never harm him in any way, or any way, shape or form, or keep him locked in a garage for months at a time and slowly... I wouldn't do that.
Anything said on Howson and Mckola Uncensored does not reflect the opinions
of anyone.
Of Howson and Mckola or FullTimeDEVILS.
or anyone, ever. This is pure fictional.
Oh, God. What else can we talk about today? I'm missing you guys. I'm going mad. I am a hermit. I do stay at home a lot. And I only go out to either meet you guys to film in Manchester or to go to a football stadium somewhere. Apart from that, it's out for food and, whatever. I've
never stayed at home this long since I've lived in this house.
I've never been at home this long, consistently. And it's just, I don't know. I'm taking things for granted that I never knew I would. Like smelling shit outside your door. Walking in the park and stepping in shit. I'm taking that for granted.
How many naps a day are you having?
So I wake up Trish wakes up for work. She's working from home. God help me. So I wake up about 9, go live at 10, do a few bits, probably have a nap about 12, half 12, for about an hour. Wake up, watch some WWF because I'm going through the series, and then maybe have another nap about 4 or 5 o'clock. Half an hour here, 45 minutes there. You're not napping?
Not one.
But you've got a little one in it.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to keep your sleeping patterns on point, right?
Yeah, and she's up at 6.
Yeah. How's the little one doing?
Mate, she's magic.
How is fatherhood? Because the other day,
it definitely changes your life.
The other day, you said something about your daughter and thing, and it was like the softest anyone had ever seen or heard Mr. Stephen Howson. Ever.
Was it off air?
It was on air, and that's why people were like, "Is that Steve?" Yeah, you were speaking. It may have been during links where you were drunk. may have been that one. But yeah, and I think like obviously, what's fatherhood saying?
Well, do you know what?
How will it change my life?
It's hard to describe until you experience it. I don't think Jaden changed me as much as he maybe should have, as quickly as it should have done, because I was still in war mode. You know, Jaden was born on the 7th of July 2006, and on the 9th of July I was back in Afghanistan. Like, there's so many emotions going through your head that you almost don't try and mesh. Like, I don't know this kid. No, this is a kid. I don't know this kid. And like, because of how busy my life was being in the forces at the time, I did 3 operational tours in 2 years and loads of exercises in between. I'd probably seen him for about 6 months of the first 2 years of his life. So the change that happens with fatherhood took a lot longer for me than it perhaps would have done. I'm seeing things with Blake now, which I didn't get to experience with Jay because of the circumstances of when he was born. It instantly means that you've got to care for another person more than you ever cared for yourself. More than you're ever going to care for your missus, probably, as well. Like, all you want to do is make sure this person is safe, more so than yourself. You want to make sure that they're happy, and you want, like, her laugh is the best thing in the world for me.
See, people at home are like, Stephen Howson said that.
Her laugh is the best thing in the world for me, and I love nothing better than just cuddling up on the sofa while she's having a bottle and watching telly with her. The first year of a baby is shit, right? There's no two ways around it. They're up at night, they're feeding all day long. You always have to hold them. You can't just let them go and do their own shit because they can't do anything. But the age that Blake's at now, she's 14, 15 months. This is the awesome time. They're starting to speak. They chat utter bollocks. They're just like blah 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 blah. Like they chat utter bollocks, but occasionally they'll drop a word in, and it'll be daddy or doggy or down or just they'll say a word, and you'll be like, oh shit.
In the house and household. And
then they communicate quite effectively. They point. You can tell what they want, and it's easy to communicate. She's walking around now like a bull in a china shop. This is just the awesome stage. This is where their personality comes out. I noticed this with Jay as well, when they're like, just after they get to 1, between 1 and 2, you start to see all their personality. And that is the best bit in the world.
I kind of hear what you're saying, because I'm the oldest, so I've always had a younger siblings coming through. So, but obviously it's different when it comes out your nuts. Isn't that a bit mad? That a human being came out of your nuts?
Well mad. Absolutely well mad. Just, but, it is what it is. Kids are ace. When they're ace. When they're not ace.
And this is where quarantine has got us, guys. Steve's talking about fatherhood. I'm sitting here welling up because he's getting...
If I only could get a lie in. Because the sun shines right on the back of our house, which means that 6 a.m. she's like, get up, dickhead. It's time to do stuff.
Oh, shit. Oh, man. Yeah, that's sick. I like that. Steve, it's been an emotional journey today.
Yeah.
It has, isn't it? When do you think we'll be back together doing this again?
No idea. All I'll say is, let's leave this on a bit of a public service announcement. I think now everyone's starting to take it seriously, but if you're not, please take it seriously. Because you'll survive it. I'll probably survive it, although even that gets flung up in the air if all the beds are gone. Because some people get a bad dose of this and they need ventilation and stuff. And if they don't get it, they might die.
Someone crawled it down the road from me from it. He was a bit elderly, but I mean, that shows you how close it is.
Yeah, there's
I think
a
London's going to be
shitload
ridiculous,
London's going to get a smacking.
London and
have
New
you
York.
seen that conference centre where they're putting like 2,000 beds in it or something? Like, the government don't do that because that costs dough. The government doesn't do that unless they're expecting to use it. So, listen, you really have to take this shit serious. And if not for yourself, because I know most of the people who are watching this are young, and you'll get it, and you'll feel like you've had a hangover for a couple of days, you'll have a bit of a cough, and then you'll be fine. Most of you. But some of you might not be. And we don't want to lose a single fucking one of you. And if you end up in a place where there's just not enough beds, because that's what's going to fucking wreck our generation. People who are elderly, they're going to struggle anyway. There's big numbers of them passing away. But do everything you can not to spread it. If you can stop the chain, you've seen all those graphics and all those videos and all those little chats from people where they're saying like, one person can pass it on to 50, but if social distancing, it halves. And then if they're really being cautious, they can half it again. Well, do everything you can. Don't do the minimum you can. Do everything you can. Because we don't want to lose a single fucking person to this shit, and we're going to lose thousands. So do whatever you can.
Around the world, it's going to be ridiculous, isn't it? And people watch us from around the world, not just England. So stay safe, you bastards. Wash your hands, wash your ass, wash your face. Like, wear gloves and shit. Have some sanitizer. Don't buy sanitizer, put the price up. If your dad owns a shop and he's putting the price up on things, slap him for me.
I'm going to send Piers Morgan around.
Yeah. To chat his ear off. But yeah. Subscribe to Mr. Stephen Howson. Subscribe to Adam Mckola TV.
Oh,
subscribe
before we go,
FullTimeDEVILS. Subscribe to Stretford Paddock. Subscribe to YouTube.
Saturday night, 9 o'clock. I'm doing a pub quiz. And I'll ring some of them up. So, Adam, do you want to get called up on Skype on Saturday?
What do I have to do?
Just talk to me.
Oh, yeah. Let's
get some cans in. Let's get some rum in. It's going to be called the Rum Down. We're going to do a pub quiz. You can join in. I might give away some prizes on there as well if for the first person to tweet me with an answer for stuff. But come and check it out at 9 o'clock on my main channel. We're going to get smashed. We're going to do a pub quiz. And I'll ring up Adam. I'll ring up Joe. I'll ring up anyone that you want me to ring up that I've got in my phone book.
If I wear a hazmat suit, can I come to your house?
No.
Can't cope anymore, man. Right. On that note, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you keep it locked to FullTimeDEVILS, Howson and Mckola Uncensored. For now, we're out of here.
Son of a bit.